Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream. Sorry I'm a little bit late starting it. Unless I had a little haircut. But I was making sure I had all of the actual measurements I needed. So I didn't have to be staring at my screen with a ruler. Trying to get exact measurements of the dimensions of this aircraft and its wing deflections and the like. Oh, I realize I should probably restart the stream. Not the whole stream, but the donation widgets. Because those are from the previous stream. There we go. Professional streaming at its finest. Something goes wrong at the start of every single beardy stream, I swear. Is the music at a good volume? I'm going to assume so. But if it's a little bit loud, let me know. Who's in chat? Oh, we've got a bunch of people watching. The clouds look fuzzy. The clouds do look fuzzy in the main menu, don't they? Volumetrics for you. I'm going to the full Kerbalkind save. Slightly too loud. Slightly too loud. There we go. It does also say Juno New Origins. Yeah, you can tell that this was a bit of a last minute thing. Let's just tweak that, shall we? There we go. For all Kerbalkind, and we'll shrink it slightly. Put it in the middle. Let me unlock that so I can move it. There we go. Yep, well pointed out. Those of you watching the VOD. Actually, I'll probably cut this out with the VOD. That's what I usually do with these kind of things. I mean, we've got a long KSP load screen to wait for anyway. This is what it's like to record for all Kerbalkind. And for the record, I have disabled the Earth scatters from RSS Reborn. It takes that long to load. It takes about twice as long if you have the Earth scatters on. You're getting some little sneak peeks of my Kerbal alarm clock there. Pentaborane MiG. Not quite. Not quite. Let's jump into the space plane hangar. Have a little look what we got to work with. So, what's the MiG-25? Some of you might be wondering. Well, it's the Foxbat. It was, I believe, made out of stainless steel. Let's double check. Was the MiG-25 made of steel? Oh no. Oh yeah, no, 80% nickel steel alloy. Yeah. 9% titanium. And predominantly that was just because of mass production. They built thousands of these things. So they could station them all over the Soviet Union and use them as interceptors. They were damn fast and they were damn cheap. But the specs, like the speed and everything, sort of terrified the West until they realized really how heavy the aircraft is, how non-maneuverable it is. It's an interceptor. It's not a fighter. It's a lover, not a fighter. So, anyway, let's, first of all, I don't know why I have to keep doing this every time I load up the game, but it doesn't seem to be saving which parts I've blocked from the VAB. It's closed. I have to keep re-importing. You'll notice there's a few extra things in the mod pack just sort of lurking around like Spiral, but that hasn't quite been pushed into the release version of the mod pack. We're working, I say we're working, pretty much just me. I'm working on the 1.5 update right now. As much as I love you, Carnasa, you are terrible at making pull requests. So I've had to refuse like 7. Right, let's have a little look at this thing. So, I've actually got a picture of it up on one of my other screens. So I'm just going to grab that now. Whereas I can close this full Kerbalkind tab thing I had open. Aha! Here we are. Speed. Yes, indeed. Stukra. That's the right attitude. Interesting, I think YouTube chat kind of removed that message, but it made it into the stream. Hey, at least I don't force push them in. Oi! I haven't force pushed anything apart from like the first commit before you were even a contributor. When it's just my repo, I can do wherever I want to it. Alright? My mod pack, my rules. Okay. Let's get making this then. So, I'm wondering which cockpit to go for. Either the inline... I mean, which more expensive? The X15 inline cockpit. Okay, is there a difference in size between these two? There's gotta be. Yeah, there is. Okay. How wide is this one? Let's have a little look at it. Just grab a tank I can just use to check the size. Is this 2.5 meters? It's 2 meters. Someone's donated! Hello! Thank you very much. That's a name and a half. The main reason people tend to donate is so you say their names out, but Slid, I guess? We'll go for that. I hope you're doing well. Can't wait for the first launch of the UR700. Oh, neither can I. I've finished designing it, actually. If you're good, I might give you guys a sneak peek of it a little bit later on the stream, because I've finished designing one of the spacecraft that's going to launch on it, and the whole fairing and everything. It's probably not going to be featured in the next episode, but almost certainly the episode after. Very exciting. UR700 spiral as replacement for any gear Baran. I mean, not really a direct comparison there, but sure. Can I say no? I wasn't saying you did that, more implying it could be worse. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is the reason why N9 doesn't have access to the full Kerbalkind mod rack repository, because that man is an absolute menace when it comes to just keeping our mod pack versions in sync and just putting random configs everywhere and then wondering why things don't work. But we love him, really. Right, so it's about 2.1. Yeah, that's fine. Because, actually, I think that's a bit big. Because the front of the MiG-25 is actually 1.25. So I think we might want to use this X-15 cockpit. So how wide is this? Let's have a little look. I mean, I could just look down here, couldn't I? 1.3. I think this might be 1.25. Just grab a tank and slap it on. Yeah. Okay, that's actually perfect. Because that is pretty much exactly the diameter of the front part of the aircraft. So let's just... Okay, cool. So we've got our cockpit. We're going to use the X-15 cockpit. It's cheaper anyway. Yeah, smaller. That's fine. We've got another donation. R7 for all Kerbalkind was jank. You know what? Yeah, you're not wrong. Forgot to put my name in the last one. Well, thank you for the second donation. It's greatly appreciated. Hope you guys like the new stream donation widgets, by the way. I did put a fair bit of effort into those. Also, I realized I had flux on, so I was looking really orange in the stream pod. There we go. Okay, right, let's get stuck into this plane. So, I'm wondering, do we sort of encase the cockpit in a surrounding thing? I don't think we really need to, honestly. I'm going to get some better photos just of the front of the aircraft. We got another donation. Goodness me, you're throwing donations at me faster. Potato Patch Broadcasting. Hello, comrade. Many warm How have I learned to read? Many warm wishes from the cold of the Potato Patch. Have some funny capitalism tokens. Thank you very much for the donation. If you haven't noticed the little, like, failing to smash the champagne bottle, that one is for the top donation this stream, and then they've got a couple of other ones. So you've got just normal donation, then above a certain amount you've got an extra one, then you've got the top donation in the stream. So there's a couple of them. I spent a little while making them, but then haven't got much play in the judo streams because they've got a small but very dedicated following. Right, let's get some nice pictures of the MiG-25. I just want to get an idea of the front of it. So it's not really perfectly round, it's more oblong kind of shape. It depends on the MiG, actually, because some of them look more round and some of them look more oblong. I think on the most part they are a little oblong. So what I'm going to see is if I can use one of these. It's called another modular tank. So do they have fuselage ones of these? They used to be fuselage tanks. I guess it's just conventional structure. Yeah, because I think you can change these to fuselage, right? Yeah, steel fuselage. I mean, it is a steel aircraft. We could make it out of steel. What's this one? Steel stir welded. Interesting. Steel fuselage? Steel fuselage, I reckon. Okay. Now let's see. Can we make these oblong? Do. So you got all the adapters. These are all the squad tanks. Nah. None of these are quite what we're after. Let's try, because you've got Squad Mark II, but that's not quite, you know, oblong. I think Squad Mark III may actually be the way to go. You can't recolor them though, which is annoying. Got all the restock ones. Oh, we got a bunch of restock things that we don't have models for. Interesting. I might have accidentally pruned some parts there that I shouldn't have pruned. Ooh, yeah. Don't mind this. Just what's a bit of pruning between friends. It's fine. I mean, shouldn't have pruned any of the restock stuff because it's all based on stock parts, so I'm not sure how that's happened. So we could go with Mark III, but then we wouldn't be able to color it easily. We could make it out of fairings. Can I be bothered? No. It's gonna be round. Sorry, people like N9 who are obsessive about their planes and the way they look, but this is not going to be quite as accurate as perhaps you might like. N9 Gaming, arrest this man! Such a subtle difference, I really don't think it matters. It'll be fine. So, how long is this front section? The front section is, including the entire cockpit and the nose. Actually, so the cockpit is right as the intakes are. So actually, sort of from here through to here. And how much of the nose is that? I'm definitely not holding a ruler up to my screen right now. Bear with. It's about a sixth of it. Yeah, it's a sixth. Oh, that's not a little set of numbers. So 5. I've got a calculator here. Don't mind me. I've got all the all of the measurements that I need. I just need to like have the exact proportions. So this is going to be 6 meters long. Wow. This is a long nose. That's how long the nose is. Wow. Pretty much down to. Wow. Yeah, that's a nose and a half, isn't it? Alright, we want a different shape. I think we wanted smooth cone, didn't we? Yeah, then a different curve. Are we sure this is 6 meters long? Yeah, this is 6 meters long. Okay. Fair enough. It does look a little goofy without the rest of the plane. But once we've got that, it'll work. Right, we've got a different sort of curve. Is that the right kind of curve? I think a peaked one might be the way to go. Yeah, that's looking correct. I think it's a big ass nose. Okay. I just feel like that doesn't look right lengthwise. Looks a little bit too long, doesn't it? Let me shave a meter off of that. That looks a bit better. Yeah, that looks closer to what it is. Okay. We'll call it that. And then, of course, we have the always necessary pitot probe at the front in the form of an antenna. It wouldn't be complete without it. Actually, I don't know. No, I do want it to go to a point. We are going to keep this in slightly. So we'll get the vague look of it right first, before we worry about actually the actual aerodynamics of this thing. Yeah, we are just going to touch this in the end. There we go. So we didn't get any weird clipping effects like we were having there. Nice. We have the front of our aircraft. What's the Russian jet that has the big minigun that would shake the airframe to the point it would break? I couldn't tell you, honestly. MiG-25, extremely, extremely fast, but not very maneuverable. But you just need to get fast. And it's debatable whether or not it could have intercepted the SR-71. Really, you want the MiG-31 for that. But the 25, if it launched exactly the right time and you had multiple of them, like, it was scary enough that it stopped SR-71 overflights. Like, in the right circumstances, they could have hit it, potentially, but not easily. Doesn't use a delta wing. No, you're thinking of the MiG-21 there, which I've got a Lego model of behind me. Behind all my computer boxes! It's all the parts of my new computer. I haven't put it together yet. I'm waiting on the Ryzen 9800X3D processor to arrive, which I pre-ordered. When that arrives, whoa, we're going to pick them with gas. There we are. Okay, we've got the nose. And then we've got the rest of the fuselage. So this is when it becomes sort of level with the... I'm wondering, do you want it to sort of taper and have these sort of side intakes take over, or... No, I think one continuous sort of fuselage through the middle. I think that works. So we want that to go through to right to where the engines start. So if we grab one of these, and this one is, we'll have it still be a smooth cone, just in case we need to change it, because I don't have to change it from a cylinder. It just gives you more control, because you can make a smooth cone into a cylinder if need be. Okay. There we are. So, how long is this? This is going to look nice and spindly until we're actually done with it. Really, we want this to go up to the end of the wings, I reckon. That's when the engines are going to be... or maybe even right to the end, actually. Have the engines either side. Yeah. Right to the end of the aircraft, as a matter of fact. So this actually wants to be, looking at my diagrams, 4.765 plus 5.875 plus 1.95. Boom, we have ourselves a number, which is 14 meters exactly. Wow, okay. So this is a long aircraft. To be fair, to make this proportional, yeah, I think I might whack this up to the 6 meters it is supposed to be. This is a long plane. Now, this might look a bit ridiculous right now. But once it starts getting a bit chunkier, it won't look quite so silly. I promise. And I think we might try and get some of the oblong shape, perhaps with some fairings or something. We'll see. Right. Now let's slap these intakes on the side. So it's got these giant kind of square tanks. But thankfully, you can make square things with polygons. Here we are. So it's these kind of weird looking intakes. And they want to sort of ramp up until a little ways back. So about there. And these go all the way to the end of the aircraft again. How long was this one? This one was 14 meters. It's going to be more like How long do we want the intake to be? Nah. Probably about a meter. That'd be enough. Okay, here we go. So we've got these sort of giant intakes going all the way through to the engines at the back. Now, they aren't actually quite as sort of jagged as that. So we'll sort of round off the edges a little later, I reckon. Yeah, we always add some rounding off there. That's fine. Okay, right. Let's grab the engines, because I'm pretty sure we have the exact engines of this thing. Let's have a little look through. 15, Avon. No, where are my Soviet boys? High performance placement for replacement of the U-2 spy plane. There's some interesting turbojets in here. But no, we're not looking for any of those. Where are my Soviet jet engines? I have to keep not showing things in the builder that might give people clues as to things that we're doing. That's MiG-31. That's the wrong MiG. You know, we'll find out what it's called. I'm just going to call this the K-25 for now. I mean, what did I call the other MiG? I called it the K... Oh, because it's based on the YE-50, wasn't it? So, we could look at the Ki-25. Or the KIG. KIG? KIG. The KIG-25. Sure. Let's go have a look at the tech tree. See if we can find it. Let me bring the chat back up, because I've been neglecting the chat to look at my pretty pictures of the MiG-25. Unplugged Lamp asks, what Patreon tier allows you to get into Cosmos Kerbal? So it does say in the tiers on them, but it's the King Penguin tier, which is the £10 tier. That lets you get yourself a shiny into Cosmos Kerbal all to yourself. You get to pick what country they come from and everything, as long as it makes some sense. R15, here we go. Let's have use on the MiG-25. The R15 turbojet, that's what we're looking for. Okay. Back to the spaceplane hangar. N9 takes notes furiously. Yeah, imagine N9 buying an into Cosmos Kerbal, parting with real money to play a prank on me. Wouldn't that be wild? Or is he taking notes on my aircraft design? That is also valid. Yeah, I mean, this is just particularly without the side bit, it's like a really spindly and long aircraft. It does just kind of look like this from above in the blueprints. Yeah. So it does look right. Right, R15. Well, where you at? Model 304. There it is. MiG-25. We want 2 of these bad boys. Bada bing, bada boom. What I'm wondering is maybe we change these to cylinders and then just do this sort of square intake at the front. Yeah, it's got a square intake and like a flat top to it. The sort of a round, more round underneath. It's a hard shape to recreate. I could recreate it in Juno New Origins, I think, a bit easier than I will be able to here. I think a polygon's the best way to go. We can soften some of the edges with some wings if we need to. But I think polygons is the way to go. Big square intakes. Hell yes. Okay. This is going to look very jank until it sort of comes together, so you will have to bear with me. We've got a newt. I play games as newted £2.18 at the stream. Put a big bunny's antenna or science scanner in the nose to simulate the radar. After all, the reason it has a big nose is the radar. that makes a lot of sense. Giant radome. I mean, it was designed as an interceptor after all. I'm not sure I could really simulate the radar though, unfortunately. Thank you for the donation and the suggestion, but we don't have radar because we don't have BD armor. And we're not adding it. This mod pack runs slow enough without adding hit points to every single part in the game. Right. Let's start doing the wings. So, we want a supersonic wing. N9 procedural wing supersonic. Thank you very much. We'll have a couple of those. Yeah, looks like it'll fly. Let's launch. No. Let's have a look here. I'm probably going to need to have some like markers on here as for where these things start. Just remove these turbojets. Okay, so from the back of the cockpit, these wings start 4.765 meters away. So this is why I spent the time before the stream getting all these measurements, so I could try and make the proportions of this accurate. The fine details, I just don't have the patience, I think, to go absolutely overboard with details. Really, the intake starts about there, and then that's when the wing starts. About that. Okay, cool. Alright, what's the size of this wing? So, let's grab that. So, the width of the root is 5.875 meters. Now, that doesn't include the ailerons, so we are, well, I say, yeah, there's the flaps of this root. How much of the wing length is actually flap? Let's get the ruler out again. About a fifth. So let's just do 4/5 times this. First time getting all these accurate measurements, and I'm just like going, yeah, good enough. I mean, it just has to look close enough, proportions wise, but getting a lot of these proportions with fully procedural parts, like you need somewhere to start with before you can tweak the sort of finer details. So yeah, this needs to be 4.7 meters at the root. I guess we're doing 4.71 because that's what it wants to be, apparently. Cool. We will make it a bit wider in a minute. Oh no, not that one. 4.71. There we go. We want the thickness. Yeah, something like that. What's that in a minute? Right. Length of the wing is 5.4 meters. I got little stubby wings. No, nope, I did not want to do that. We can tweak the specifics later. There we go. 5.4. We said the width was 4.7, which is very nice. Want the leading edge as well. Okay. This is the offset. So I don't like that you don't get the angle. That's a bit irritating. You can't just enter the angles here. So we are probably going to have to do a little bit of trigonometry, which is the quality content you subscribed for. We still at 4.7. And then not including the aileron at the tip of the wing. How much of the... It's quite a big chunk of it, actually. It's about almost half. I'll call it a third. Is aileron at the end. Did I not write down what the tip of the wing length was? I absolutely didn't write that down. Okay. I didn't write it down. We're going to have to figure that one out on stream. Just got my little like crummy diagram, the plane, all the measurements and angles. And I think we're going to have to do some trigonometry in a second. I mean, this is literally my job, so it would be worrying if I wasn't able to design an aircraft and do a bit of trigonometry. After all. Right. Let's do some measuring. To zoom out on this picture a bit. There we go. Okay. So this wingtip, so not including the aileron, is 1.1 centimeters on my screen. So we're going to times that by my fudge factor. Is it 1.5? Did I say 1.5 or 1.1? 1.1, right? Yeah, 1.1. Which means the wingtip is 1.75 meters in reality. So we open up case P, and then we want the width of the tip, 1.75. Yeah, that's looking cool. Right, we need to get the offset correct now, though, which is a little awkward. So if the offset is 0, is this the... Okay, so that's right in the middle. So that's... We've got to figure out what the offset of the middle of the wing is. I really wish I could just enter angles. I really kind of hate that you can't. And to be fair, it's got a different angle on the wing because the control surfaces get thinner as they get nearer the edge. That's actually such a pain. That's such a pain. Use the angles button. There's an angles button? Oh, there is an angles button. I'm an idiot. Phew! No trigonometry required. Scale edges to thickness, include edges and definitions of tip width instead of base width. Interesting. Well, that's very nice that you pointed that out to me, chat. You had time to stare at the screen while I'm busy staring at my calculations. But that makes life a lot easier. Okay, so the sweep angle at the front is 42.5 degrees. Well, crikey. That's interesting looking, isn't it? And the sweep angle at the back is 9.5. But I don't know what angle that's... Yeah, so I think I might need to add 90 to that. Yeah, there we go. So it's where it measures it from. It's important. Let's change this back down to 42.5. Why is it dramatically changing both of them? So if this is 99... Oh, it's lowering it. I see. Okay. I think I haven't got the length of the... Oh, I'm not taking into account. That's the sweep angle of the ailerons. Sweep angle of this is actually a little bit more dramatic. Actually, a little bit less. So, sweep angle... Where does it measure this from? So if this is... Oh, it measures it from here. I see. Okay. I see. So it actually wants to be more like 80. Like that. I don't actually have a protractor. I should maybe have a protractor, but I can't really tell the angle. Tell the angle of the aileron and the control surface, but not the angle of the actual thing. So the aileron angle is 90 minus 9.5, so the aileron angle is 80.5, so it's actually, it's even less than that. So if that's the aileron, this one's actually a much smaller angle. Let's see what the difference between those angles is. It looks about 10 degrees. We'll call it 10 degrees. No, 70. 70. That's just dramatically not the number I entered. Okay, I'm just going to adjust this down. Can I adjust it? So the front one is... Oh, if that's 90, it's actually 90 minus 42.5. 47.5. And the sweep angle at the back. Has the game crashed? Oh, no, okay. I think we're fine. I think we're okay. Nope, it's frozen again. I don't think he likes what I was doing with these wings. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, we're okay. We're okay. Ooh, my life flashed before my eyes. Okay. I think we're fine. Okay, so it measures the sweep angles a little bit differently to how I expected. So it's 90 minus 47.5 on the front one, and the back one keeps freezing. Really doesn't seem to like us doing this. I might just put 70 on the clipboard, or now I can actually edit that number directly. Hopefully it'll stop freezing once we've got the angles in. Why is it trying to simulate the craft? Okay. And the rear one. I don't really know why it's freezing. This hasn't happened to me before. There seems to be a uniquely procedural wings thing. Hopefully once we stop messing with it, it'll stop freaking out. There we go. Okay. And that gives us a width at the tip. What is the width at the tip? If I disable angles, I think it's because we're using angles, it's having to do some calculations. Remove the angles. What is the width at the tip? 1.7, which is what we calculated. So we are correct. We're actually pretty much right on the money. It's actually 1.75, which means we probably want to... We're going to make it bigger. We want to decrease the angle a little bit more, just a tiny bit more. Yeah, we'll put those numbers back on. We had someone Newt. Professional Twink. Interesting name. Procedural parts are for weakling. Real men approximate using structural triangles, then clips on ore tags for cog. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I am a coward for using this approach. I'm very sorry. Right, back to the angles. Back to the numbers. Okay, so we actually want this to be a little bit lower. We'll try 68 degrees. Crikey, the game just does not like these procedural wings. Okay, here we go. We'll try 68. And then we'll swap it back to using offsets and see if we got the correct numbers. I keep getting like scroll wheel of death. Let me just close that. Save this. Reopen it. Okay. It's... I've kind of I've lost the... Oh, is it in preferences? Ah, here we go. Okay, what's the width of the tip? Ah, that's actually a bit too much. I think... You know, we were pretty close. I think it might be like... 69.5, that angle. So you know we were close enough that I don't really care. So we're going to put that back up to 70. Just have a nice big round number. Also, I didn't take into account the length of the actual aileron, so we want it to be a little smaller. How much of the tip of the wing is aileron? Quite a chunk, actually. So what's the actual width of the... Oh no, we did do 1.1 times... times 1.1. Yeah, 1.75. No, we were right. We were right. So that's... 70. And then hopefully it'll stop dying. People say interesting plane design. It's not finished yet, you pedantic buggers. Be nice. Try and get the wings right. Okay, those wings are correct, so we're going to stop messing with this before my computer implodes, because it really does not like us defining these angles. There we go. Cool. Right, that's good enough for now. We have wings. Kind of hard to see the thickness of the wings relative to the aircraft. Let's have a little look. They're actually pretty slim, actually. Damn. These are definitely way too chunky, so we are going to have to change the thickness. So I don't mind so much about being a little less accurate with these, but that's honestly probably about right. 0.9. Oh, scroll wheel again. Oh, KSP.exe is not responding. Let's wait for the program to... Oh, crikey. What is it about these wings? I've never encountered this before. N9, have you encountered this? The game just doesn't like you using procedural wings? Check console for log spam. Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll see what's complaining. Okay, let's just finish doing this wing thickness. And then we'll see what the game is complaining about. What's your opinion on the taste of pentaborane? Kiverix asks. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say I've tasted it, and I can't say I want to. Yeah, wow, this is just kind of unplayable, isn't it? Just really want to get this thickness stat down. That's not right. That really is a weird looking plane. Okay, as soon as the game unfreezes, I'm going to open up the console and have a little look and see what the problem here is. That's good enough. That's good enough. Let's see if we can close this thing and yeah, wow, it just really didn't like us defining those angles, did it? People saying save the craft and load it again may help. Yeah, let's have a look for log spam. No, it seems to be fine. Seems to be FAR. It's Farm Aerospace. Interesting. Let's we've saved it, let's load it again, see if that sorts it. Okay. Right. We've got our main chunk of wing. So that's fine. The game seems to have calmed itself now. So let's do these control surfaces, shall we? How much of the wing is flap? Kind of most of it, honestly. How much of the bottom of the wing did we decide about a quarter. Oh, not even that much. Yeah, about a quarter of the base of the wing. And the base of the wing is 5.4. 5.4 times... So that's about 4 meters, and that's what we put the base of this as? If I am correct? No. 4.7. Oh no, that is about right. Yeah. 4/5, didn't it? No? Don't mind me, I'm just checking my measurements. Do 23.5 15. Yeah, okay, 4.7. So that means the remaining bit of aileron. If this will let me close it. Oh no! Didn't mean to do that. Didn't mean to do that. The remaining bit of aileron is 0.7 meters at the base, which is fine. Okay. Let me get the chat back up again. Again, I've been neglecting you, looking at plane blueprints. Anyways, the wing is still probably too thick, but we're not going to mess with that wing again for a hot minute. I'm just going to do these ailerons first. So, procedural wing, supersonic. Procedural control surface, supersonic. That's what we want. Okay, how much of this is flat and how much is aileron? Most of it is flat. Say about 3/4 of it is flat. What would help here is if we removed the... Oh, didn't want to do that. The trailing edge. There we are. That makes life a bit easier. Okay. It seems to be fine with us changing things now, so let's see if we can change the thickness of this wing again. Yeah, it seems fine now. That's genuinely about right. Like, it looks bizarre how thin the wing is, but that is how thin it is. Very, very spindly wing. Okay, that wing shape is pretty much spot on now. So I'm going to leave that as it is instead of messing with it anymore. And let's do these flaps. So it really is like the vast majority of this wing. So let's stretch this out. About that much of the wing. So yeah, a good chunk of it. Very scientific, I know. Just being like, yeah, about that much. There we are. And then we can fix that with some offsets. Some angles at the end, but we want to change the width of this first. So the width at the root. We have a donation. Hello. Giverix! Nothing to say, just money. Also, no French Intercosmos crew. Well, thank you very much for the donation, Kivris. That's the biggest donation this stream, so your name's going to go at the bottom, over there. You'll be in the, I think it's the top 3 donators. Get their names scrolling on the bottom there. But thank you very much for the donation. There aren't French Intercosmos yet, but we do have European Space Agency Intercosmos missions. So really French Intercosmos would need to go through Carnasa. So he would need to send up a French astronaut if he wanted to do that. But there is going to be an Intercosmos mission to Salute 4 in this weekend's episode. So you've got that to look forward to on Sunday on Carnasa's channel. So the width of this at the root, we already decided was, because that was 4.7, so it's 0.7. Oh, that's... Oh, this is the wrong way around. I think we probably need to fix that. There we go. Let's try that again. Width of the root is 0.7. Yeah, that looks correct. What is it at the... Riley Church. Ooh, that's a big old message. Didn't fit underneath the stream animation. Hi BD, Unplugged Lamps asking if they have to stay subscribed to have an Intercosmos Kerbal for one-time donations enough, just asking on their behalf. Find me that donate button. A one-time donation is enough, yeah. You can join the... Well, really you kind of need to subscribe up until they appear in the series, because there is a little bit of a backlog, right? So, you know, it would be a month, maybe 2, with the cadence we're doing at the moment. But yeah, like a one-time donation would be enough. If you go onto the Patreon, sign up with the King Penguin tier, and then use it for that month to tell me the details of the Kerbal you want. So yeah, I've had plenty of people do that, where they've just subscribed for like 2 months really. Like they wait until they got their Kerbal, and then they've appeared in the series, and then they're on sub. That's fine. You're very welcome to do that. If you want to make a one-time donation, then yeah, go for it. But if someone else is a continuous patron and they put their name in, like they're gonna get bumped up the list, if that makes sense, right? Like the people who are long-time supporters are gonna get high priority. There's not much science to how I do this though. Okay, let's get my blueprint back up and get these ailerons. Doing all this wing stuff, this is always the most complex part. Also, we need to move this wing back a bit. What's the whole point of having this marker here? Just to mark where it is. Okay. How much thinner does this thing get? Let's have a look. Where's the width of it, like, all the way at the end? I'm not sure really until I put the aileron on. Let's do the aileron first. And then we'll come back to this. There we go. Professional Twinker is that a real professional Twinker? We got a second one. RP won this. C7 that real man, no flags, and a single cubic struck is the way to go. Thanks for the donation. Real professional Twinker. You clearly got some very strong opinions, let's say, about the way that we're playing the game right now. But you are entitled to them. Right, so the width of this at the tip. Let's measure that. I am holding a ruler up to my screen once more. about 0.5. 0.5 meters at the end, about 0.45. Yeah, that's close enough. It's fine. That doesn't seem right. No, it is right though. I had a look at it. No, it's correct. It's correct. I think that includes the... it doesn't include the trailing edge though. I think that's quite important. So that's the sort of total length of it. I think if we drop the trailing edge length to like 0.1-ish, then we can reduce this to 355. It's more like that actually. There we go. And then this one we can do the same. So down to 0.95. Happy with that staying constant all the way along, that's okay. And then looking for trailing edge. No, the width of the route. So it was 0.7, but we'll go down to 0.6. Yeah. And then what's the starting on this? Okay. 0.4. Down to like 0.375. Yeah, that's fine. Why does that not line up? Oh, that's at the tip. 0.47 at the root. Well, no, the other way around. Okay, 0.37. And then, yeah, a little bit bigger. We've got like 0.445. There we go. So I think I like misread the drawing actually as to the angle of this. This wing, because the ailerons are actually not that dramatically angled. So these ailerons are definitely correct, but I'm actually just going to quickly take them off, and God forbid, actually I'll put them just here and just save the plane in case something goes dramatically wrong. And I am actually briefly going to change this. So it's instead of this swept back angle here being 70 degrees, since the actual angle is 80.5, it's actually only a couple degrees difference. So I think this should really be more like sort of 79. Yeah. Something like that. I think the width of the base actually needs to be a little longer. So let's sorry this is such a slow stream. I mean, most of these building streams are. I wouldn't usually stream my building because I've got to focus so much on the details of what I'm actually constructing. The only reason I stream these is because, for whatever reason, you lot seem to enjoy them. And the width of the route is actually sort of 4.8. Now that's actually looking a bit more like it's supposed to. Yeah. And the game didn't crash as well, which is always a nice touch. So I think FAR was just having a senior moment. I would quite like this aileron to remain the same length. Yeah, it's pretty much flush. And we just need to make this one a little bit smaller. So we want the length of this reduced a little bit. I think that is as good as that is pretty much going to get. Nice. Very nice. Cool. Right, let's just change the thicknesses. So the thickness at the tip of this wing, 1.07, so this needs to be the same. And this one... Oop, wrong one. Like so, and then we just need to change the offsets. Do something like that. Yeah, we have a wing. Heck yes. Very nice. Believe it or not, that's a wing. N9 has donated £6.66, a bribe to make your plane slower. Thanks, Trent. I appreciate it. You working, or have you got tonight off? I say tonight like it's night where you are. Afternoon. Nice to see you in chat, man. Even if you should be working on your episode. Tut tut tut. Okay. And there's some interesting stuff going on in his streams. He's been streaming all of this actual episode making. I don't tend to do that apart from for special occasions, because I really don't like having to present while I'm just focusing on flying missions and things. When I'm really paying attention, I don't want to have to focus on sort of being entertaining. It becomes very exhausting very quickly. So it takes the fun out of it. With building stuff, I don't mind, but this is like my measuring block. It's the equivalent of my slide rule, isn't it? Okay. So we've got wings. That was the most involved part of this by far. So now, what we're probably going to do is I might make these a little bit wider and then clip them in. So if I put this as a measure of where they originally were, and then we can just make them a little bit bigger. 1.2, that's fine. And then clip them like so. Might need to sort of connect multiple. Let me have a look at these intakes. Now, the intakes are actually bigger than the central fuselage, it seems. Yeah, they actually drop lower, so this is actually not inaccurate. So let's make them a little bigger. Like 1.4. Yeah, that actually ends up being about correct. Which is kind of wild. So there's actually more of a dramatic shape at the top there. Let me go back to my schematics. So that's about right. This is about level with the bottom of the cockpit. Yeah, that's about right. Interesting looking plane, isn't it? It's a, you know, very brutalist Soviet sort of stereotypical Soviet-esque design, right? Yeah, that's actually a little bit too large now. So we'll try a 1.3, and I think that might just be the sweet spot. That's nice. That's nice. Move it up a little bit more. And then move it in a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's a good look. Okay. And this... So we'll do the intakes in a second, I think. And yeah, that suits the engines a bit better as well, having those be a little larger. Though these engines are going to sort of move inwards a bit, so they're not sticking out the sides there. Perhaps downwards a bit, but we'll figure that out in a minute. But they are pretty much sandwiched next to each other like so. So actually, there isn't really any gap between them, I don't think. Yes, that's about right. That's about right as they are. And that is the sort of silhouette of the plane. And it's looking about right. It's looking about right. Cool. So let's do these. Do you guys want the rear wings or do you want the intakes first? What would you rather have? I'm gonna let you decide that while I quickly go grab another beer because I have emptied this one. Designing planes while drinking. I promise I don't do that in my actual job. But I'm not going to tell you who I work for because you'd never get on one of their planes ever again. I'll be back in a minute. There are already some pretty incredible memes on the Discord about what we're designing here over in the All Kerbalkind channel. Particularly about the penguin I've got behind me. That's Fred, for those of you that haven't joined the Juno streams before. And we've got Charlie, the chonky seal there, and we've got my Lego rockets, though they're partially obscured by my new PC boxes. So pretty overwhelming response that people want to see the intakes. Also, multiple people have actually asked me if I'm sponsored by Corona. I'm not. I wish I was. I wish I got paid to drink these. This is my favourite beer. Like casual beer. If not being like fancy and drinking craft stuff. Right. Let's have a little look at these intakes to get a better view of these actually. Okay. So what we need to first do is actually stick some real intakes on this. Like so. Just so that, you know, it actually takes air in. But then we'll sort of wrap these. And some other intakes. I think using wings to build this is going to make the most sense, isn't it? So if we just do... procedural things, here we go. Something like that. These are pretty damn thin as well. We're going to make the thickness of these tiny. Cool. So these go all the way up to a little ways past the cockpit, actually. So up to about where they are, actually, about there. And they go down at an angle. We'll do the angle in a second. We want the width of the route to be the same. So we're not going to use angles. So the width of the route is the width of this thing, which is 1.3. Oh no, because this actually clips in, doesn't it? So what we do want to get rid of is these trailing and leading edges. I don't know why I'm doing that. I can just remove the edge like so. There we go. That makes our life a little easier. Okay. So, width of the route is 1.3. There we are. And width of the tip also 1.3. Offset 0 ideally. And voila, we have the beginning of our ramp intakes. So this actually goes down very slightly. That's not slightly. I didn't have the angle snap on like that. So we want it more like that. Yeah, that's looking nice. Then we want the side ones. We can stick these on the end. Not exactly, because we've got the... There we go. And this is just a big triangle. So the width of this one goes to 0, and then we change the offset. So it coincides with that. This is put us off as an angle because we copied the other one. There we go. Nice. We can change the angle a little more, I reckon. No 0.6. That's too much. 0.58. 575. Yeah, that's right on the money. I reckon we might actually, if we make the width at the tip a little bit, then it'll line up a little better, wouldn't it? What did we put the thickness of this as? 0.04. Ah, okay. So with the width of the tip as 0.04, that will line up nicely. Get rid of these handles. prefer to edit the numbers directly. Nice. Real nice. That is the side of the intake. Beautiful. Don't worry, we'll hide these intakes. Probably behind a flag, I reckon. I think air can still get through flags, so we'll use a black flag to hide that. I think that would probably work best. Yeah, be alright. Okay, so this actually needs to change because these aren't exactly flush. These need to be a little bit thinner. So let's change the width of this to more like 0.1. Let's try, see if that works. Why do they not snap to the same size? That's real weird. That's really strange. They don't snap to the same numbers. Okay, let's try that. I think that's... Ooh, not quite. Not quite. They need to be a little thinner than that. Okay. Try again. Try 1 meter flat. So there's all these little fine details. If you go over to N9 streams, he'll be like, right, yeah, we've got to really get this episode out. We've got to hurry up and get this episode done. And we don't have any need for planes this episode. So we're going to get stuck right into designing rockets. And then that'll be followed by 8 hours of him streaming, building the single most detailed F4 Phantom you have ever seen. But we've got a real need for this aircraft, not just to shoot down SS-71s, but it's to do with our military contract in 1967, but also because crew science. There's a lot of it in newer versions that we just haven't got because this didn't exist when we first started playing RRP1. And with the new rules allowing us to invest our science into our research speed, we need all the science we can get right now. There we go. We've got a slightly janky air intake. Yeah, these big air intakes, I don't think they're quite gonna work. Yeah, they don't quite fit in there, do they? Which is a shame, because it would have been nice to have had nice big intakes, but I think we can make do with sort of round intake, perhaps? No, it still sort of clips outside of it, doesn't it? No, we want bigger intakes than that. So we can't fit that one. What about the shotgun? Oh, no. What about that? Still a bit too large. Radial intakes? Yeah, they could work. We have like 2 of them. Yeah, that will work. Let's do like 2 of those next to each other. It doesn't matter about the looks, it's just about getting the actual airflow. We have to have some actual real intakes. I guess we can just sort of put these back. Yeah, this is going to look a bit jank, but You're not going to be able to see these. We're going to hide them. Sure. That's good enough. Right. I don't know what we do about this bit. I need a view of the plane from above. Here's one. Let's have a little look. How does this look exactly? What do they do here? No, there is just straight up a kind of a gap. Interesting. And it just kind of connects on. So I guess we want something to just sort of connect this in here and make that flush. Would have quite a, I guess, just another sort of triangle into there would probably work for that. Let me see if I can get some better photos of it. Save that image and open it. That doesn't give me a good look. We get good photos of the MiG-25 from above. There is straight up just kind of a gap next to those like little ramp intakes. But it kind of does just look like that. It's not quite as dramatic a thing. It just sort of got a. You know what we will do? I think what we'll do is we'll. I think they are a little thinner and they get a little wider. It's hard to tell by how much. Let's have a look at my blueprints. Yeah, they're actually at an angle, very slight angle. But this actually kind of, oh, that was the wrong one. Kind of goes like that. There we go. That's what it needs to look like. Probably really until that's flush with this. So it's going to need to be a little bit longer. But that's fine. Okay. That needs to go like so, and then this, the width of that needs to change pretty much to the width of this, which is 1.3. 1.3. Okay, cool. So width of this at the root, change to 1.3, then change the offset to 0.3. Nope, other direction. Minus 0.3. No. Alright, there we go. Minus 0.3. No, that's not quite right. Is that it? That's it. That's the Badger. Almost. Just need to adjust this slightly. That needs to be a little bit longer because it's got a little bit further to go. So it's 2.05 in length right now. Let's try 2.1. No, it's still a bit too long. 2.075. 2.07 was just right. Just good enough for Goldilocks. What's its angle? There we are. Almost got it. Almost got it. There's all these like fine little tweak things that are a real pain in KSP. It's times like this I miss Juno. You get much finer control over the angles at which things snap. No, that's good enough because we can just increase the width of this at the end to like 1.05. There's still too much. We're just going to be tweaking a lot of numbers today, so it's not going to make the most interesting watching. Apologies for that. That, I reckon, is pretty much an intake. I mean, we could just change the offset of this slightly. Actually, why did we rotate this thing at all? Like, we could have just done an offset. Why did I even do that? I think I'm an idiot. There we go. Yeah, we should have just changed the offset. Don't know what I was doing. Actually rotating it. Because we have way finer control over it, like so. Bada bing, bada boom. Right, that's an air intake. Yeah, that looks correct. Nice. Now, I say it looks correct. Doesn't really. The angles on these need to change, so they're not quite like that. They come out a little bit and then they're up like that. So it's the best way to do that. Yeah, what's the angle of these intakes? Let's have a look at the diagram. It does look actually correct from the side. That does look right. It's like where the intake starts. But this edge obviously needs to not be clipping. So, and just the angle of this needs to change a bit more, I suppose. That seems a bit too dramatic. I think maybe if we just make it a bit longer, then that would work. Yeah, let's just try making this intake a bit longer. So if we make this tank a little shorter, so we'll see how much we make it longer by, and then we'll figure that out. So let's make the length. We just need to stretch it out until it stops clipping. There we go. That ruins the angle of it though. Yeah, we need to put like a box, like some more wings, and then put these on the tips of the wings, and then extend it out. I think this was 2.03 before I started messing with it. Or was it? Yeah, maybe a bit more than 2.3? No, 2.067. 2.07. Okay, let's save that. Carnasa's saying, I don't think anyone's rushing for shuttles at the moment. I might be wrong. I think the others are just going for lunar bases. Yeah. We need such advanced orbital survey tech to build our lunar bases, to survey the sites and stuff. We're just going to be rushing for that for the next couple of in-game years, really. Not a huge amount of technological advancement, with the exception of the spiral spaceplane, which we're going to start using in 1968. Which we have here. Get an idea for the size of it. Oh, I didn't mean to attach two of them. But yeah, we're going to be using these little guys. So we'll have some early shuttles. You know, this versus dinosaur. I always strap some missiles on it on a service bay at the back. We'll see. We'll see what a military contract in 1968 is. But it will involve spiral. I know that much. Yeah, we're going to be rushing for bases. I think particularly because shuttle tech is so far ahead. Like, you know, we're talking 1980s tech there. If anyone went for shuttles, they would absolutely lose the race for the base. Just given. Nice. We have ourselves a thing. Right, let's move this out. Slide this one in. Slide to the left. Crisscross. Everybody clap your hands. Shorten it just to the point where it's no longer clipping into this anymore. Right, you just want the edge of this to not clip. So we slap that on there. Try that again. There we go. So the width of this at the end, the width of this is 1.2, so the width of this one needs to change to 1.2 if it'll let me change it. There we go. And then and this needs to be Why won't this line up? I'll make it absolute. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to line this up to be straight, and then line this one up to be straight as well. There we go. That's the only way I could see to get that to line up properly. There we are. Okay. Wunderbar! So how long is that? Wing. It's 1.5 meters long, really, 7 feet. I didn't want to do that. That's fine. We need to move them anyway. So if we reduce the length of this by 1.5 meters... I didn't want to do that, did I? The length of it by 1.5. There we are. Then we want the end of that. About there. Oh, perfect. Perfect! Lined up very nicely. Okay. Where's my measuring stick? Where did I put that? Did we reload the craft or something? I've lost it. Oh well. Oh well. Die Doms. It's quite useful, but oh well. Make do. Nicely. If we do that, then these can actually be straight like they are in the pictures as well, so that works. So let's do that. There we go. Okay, so actually I think the angle of this intake here wants to be changing more like that. So then that wants to move out just a teeny weeny bit more. Like so. And then down so that that's flush. Let's check that all looks correct. Indeed it does. Nice. Cool. Right, so we just need extend. This one and this one can now be identical if they're going to be going at the same angle. So let's copy this one to here. Wunderbar. We have a donation! Competitive Children of Dead Earth campaign when also speed and power. Competitive Children of Dead Earth, crikey. You know, I've had that game for such a long time. Thanks for the donation, by the way. I play games. But I just haven't had a chance to play it. It looked like it had quite a high learning curve. And so I just sort of hadn't found the time to tackle it, really. I will have to at some point. But I'm pretty sure the other guys haven't played it. I know something we are sort of thinking of doing, though, is playing a game of DEFCON. I think that could be a lot of fun. And people keep wanting to see For All Kerbalkind go hot, and it's like, well, you know what? Have some DEFCON to sate that urge for you. Let's make this segment does that. Let me know what you guys think about a DEF CON stream. Right, just like all of us playing DEF CON. I think that could be pretty hilarious. Just casually blowing up the world. Damn good game, DEF CON. I've never actually lost a game of it. I mean, everyone loses in DEF CON, that's kind of the point, but... I've always had the highest score, but I mean, just not lost the hardest. Lost the least, perhaps. That's the best way of putting it. When it comes to playing XCOM? DEF CON. I mean, XCOM 2, I suppose. It's going to be lots of little tweaks until we get these intakes looking right. The intakes are probably going to be the hardest part of this. So, you know, you guys did want me to work on them first. So, yeah, to be fair, I mean, they sort of curve down all the way from the wings to an extent. So. Does look about right. In fact, I mean, I think it's just because this cockpit actually sticks up too much. So we'll probably want another fuselage along the bottom to get a sort of oblong shape of it, and then offset the cockpit into it. I think that's the way we'll want to go to get these intakes looking right. But that's good. we set that one to? The offset is 0.45. And there we are. That's got them both looking correct. And then if we just grab that wing, put it on there. Except we don't want it at a different angle. Really, we need this one to be slightly better aligned. Like that. And this one up just a teeny bit. Oh, I wish I could control these angles with numbers. Ah, all those Juno streams, they've made me go native. I miss all the fine build controls. No wonder, like, folks like Carnasa who do really highly detailed builds absolutely love Juno. He took to Juno like a duck to water. 1.08. N9 really needs to try it. I'm honestly shocked that he hasn't. Give it a go, N9. I know you don't have much free time, but you would absolutely love it, particularly considering how we play Kerbal Space Program with all procedurals. I got a feeling you'll really, really like it. Right, that cockpit actually does stick up like way too much because, yeah, it really goes like that. And sort of like so. Which is kind of what we did with the some of our previous ones. We're not going to quite do that. We'll make a taper. I reckon. We'll add another pine here that tapers it nicely onto the cockpit. Let's see if we can change the cockpit texture with some flags. But that was to go about. Out there. Here we are. We just got to add these bottom ones. And we'll be pretty much done. Actually tapers up from the bottom as well. I think, let me get a better photo. Not significantly. It's fine. We can get away with it. We can get away without doing that. And therefore, I will do exactly that. Would have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling Foxbat. For reference, that was the NATO designation for the MiG-25. So I know all the furries on my Discord are going to get very excited. Of which there are many. Well, that's a problem at all. I think I do just sort of wonder sometimes, like, I wonder why that is. I think me being a very openly queer creator myself, I think it's why, like, the Discord is so. I mean, Discord itself is obviously as an app tends to be sort of very queer friendly. I think it's really sweet that I've managed to make such a welcoming community, such an inclusive community. Okay, well, that's as good as that ramp's going to get with the limits we have on angle snapping. I mean, we could probably get away with the just slapping the ramp intakes in there now, because you probably won't see the clipping anymore. I think that would just be easier part-wise. So let's see. Oh yeah, we get away with that. We get away with that. Absolutely, we do. Yeah, I mean, they kind of just go in there perfectly, don't they? And we don't actually see them at all. Nice! Very, very nice. So that's the ginormous intakes done. And ginormous they certainly are. Crikey. Massive, great big things. The proportions on them don't quite look right. I'm going to have a little look at the sketch. See where that's sort of gone awry. The proportions are correct from above. I think it's the height. And they may actually need to be a little taller. Really think about the height of them. I was kind of intentionally making them square. Actually a little slimmer. That's the kind of thing that I'm inclined to just leave for now. Otherwise I'll be spending this entire stream doing air intakes, which I'm sure some of you would get very excited by, but I don't particularly fancy. So we're going to leave that as is. Grab ourselves a flag. There is the structural flag decal. Ah, it's this one. Is that it? That's the conformal one though. How do I make it not conformal? I don't think I can... I can use the human rated flag. Will that work? I think it might. I don't want to use the conformal one. I'm trying to find out where the stock flag is, but I don't know that it's in here. I think it might just automatically be hidden because we've got the conformal ones. I don't think it's in the tech tree. Can we make these non-conformal? No. When entire air intake stream. I mean, this thing is human rated anyway. It's just got a crew capsule, so we're not going to lose anything by doing this. So, yeah, stuff it. Let's try these. See how well these work. This might actually be like the perfect size for these as well. Yeah, and all we really need to do is just cover up the intake here. I'm not too bothered about like lining it up with the edge of the intake. You don't want to like, don't want it to look too silly. We're just sort of hiding the intake there. Ah, but of course it gets wider at the back, doesn't it? Okay, so that's as far forward as we want that. Let's put down there. And we'll find a good angle for this so that it reaches the top of it. And then we'll just add a second one to hide the entire thing. That's pretty nice. We add another one just next to it. And we should be golden. Why is it not quite at the same angle? That's annoying. How'd that happen? How's that? Still not quite. There we go. This one actually needs to be at an angle to do this properly, which is a bit interesting. I'm going to be really annoyed if this does actually block the intake somehow. I will be really irritated. And that is that. We have intakes. Cool. They're not exactly the right dimensions. They actually need to be a little bit just sort of longer. I think the entire plane does really, because yeah, it's actually quite it's an oblong sort of fuselage shape. So what we are going to do is just duplicate that, and just rip those off. There we go. Slap it underneath. We won't have these tanks at full utilization before people start screaming about part clipping. This is just to get the look of this correct. Is that lined up properly? Yeah. So it's just to get the look right. Because yeah, it should be sort of something like that. Yeah. And then the intake extends down below that. So we will do it with the structural tanks, because from above this does have exactly the right profile. If we remove those wings, I mean maybe we will just finish the intakes now. I mean, I feel like in for a penny, in for a pound, right? And that gives us the space we needed for the turbojets too, actually. So. Yeah, we were gonna have to do this no matter what. Nice. I mean, to be fair, the silhouette's coming together. I know I was like, I'm just not gonna try and recreate the oblong shape, but I think this is gonna look pretty damn great. Now, how far below the main fuselage do they extend? Not too far. So only to about like there. And that's about the right proportions for those intakes actually. Should move it a little bit further. Like that. Yeah. That is what they're supposed to look like. Let's just fix it now. Else it's going to be bugging me. So this is just got to go down to here. We're just going to make the sides a little bit bigger. It shouldn't take too long. Air intake stream. Let's go. What I'm going to do is make the bottom of this, so the width of this at the root, a bit bigger. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Controls it. Okay, cool. Alright, let's align this with the bottom of this, and then we can finally tune that. I thought it was attached to that, but it's not attached to that. Nice. And then this. So that. Okay, yeah, it's a bit jank, but that is the correct shape for the intakes. Once we finish this. Okay. Lovely. To be fair, we can get the angle on these a bit more accurate now. That middle bit then just needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, lovely. I don't know about you, but this is actually starting to look somewhat like a plane. Crazy that. Ooh, so close there. Yeah, the width at the base of this needs to be. I don't know why it's 1.71, that's why it's a little too wide. There we are, that fixes that. Then change the offset down to 0.705, 704. Lovely, yeah! Awesome. Okay, we just got to do the inside ones, and then we're on the home straight. Just that down ever so slightly. And there we go, we just got to do these ones now. Actually, fair are the tricky ones. But we can remove this one because it's just a copy of that one. So we can delete that and just get this one right. So what's the width of this? Width of the tip is 1.7. So that one also needs to move up to 1.7. And the width of the base, 1.86. And what's the offset? Offset 0 on that one, of course. Okay. Maybe the angle of this needs to change slightly. It just doesn't quite line up right with this. Yeah, that angle isn't exactly spot on. I don't know if we can get it much more accurate though. Yeah, that's as good as that's going to get. That's fine. That's fine. No, just copy that. So there, and then we just got to do the inside of the intakes, and then that is the intakes actually done this time. Yeah, that's much more accurate. That's much closer to what it's supposed to look like. Intake stream. Intake stream. I knew it would be the most complex bit, which is why I was like, yeah, should we leave it for last? But no. Group vote. No, we demand the intakes now, Biddy. I will take 100 of your finest intakes. Give us any hint when the next video will possibly come out. Sunday. There you go. Far from a hint. Next episode's from Carnasa. We're back in the saddle now on regular uploads. So an upload from each of us is between 4 to 6 weeks. If we're going to miss that, then we will actually let you know. Probably make this a little bigger now. Ooh, no. That's annoying. Let's control Z that. Oh. There we go. We just need to get another one of these, I suppose, and just extend it upwards. But yeah, the next episode is from your boy Carnasa on Sunday. Then it's N9 after that, and then it's me a week after that. So, you know, it's a month between videos from each of us, possibly slipping up to 6 weeks, depending on what we're going on. So it's sort of 4 to 6 weeks between us. So it should be a max of 1 to 2 weeks, because it's like a week between, and then we got like an off week, and then a week between again. So really, it should be a max of 1 to 2 weeks between episodes from one of us. Not from all of us, from sort of any of us. And individually, it's 4 to 6 weeks, as I said. Well, that, though I say so myself, looks pretty great. I'm chuffed with that. Those are spot on. Absolutely spot on. Awesome. So, we've got the wings. Yeah, we've got the intakes. I think the wings might be in the wrong place though, so we are just gonna get our measuring box back again. Probably should have just made a new tank instead of doing all this. There we go. Okay, measuring box. Okay, how far from the beginning of the intakes is the wings? 4.765 meters. 4.765 from the beginning of those intakes to the beginning of the wings. Yeah, so the wings are a little too far back. That's fine. We can fix that. Just because we changed our intakes and changed the... Oop, that's the wrong thing. That. And then we move the wings forward. There. that is that. Let's keep the measuring stick. Let's try not to throw it away. Okay, cool. And then we can move these engines down now. And they're comfortably sort of firing through the center of mass and not clipping through the top of the aircraft. Very cool. Is there a dihedral on the wings? It doesn't really look like there is. Like, they look really like flat wings, which is kind of bizarre looking, if I'm honest. But I mean, they're high wings though, so you don't really need the dihedral. So I guess we just leave them level. Lots of space to put missiles under them. Right, what's next? We do the split tails? Do the split tails, I reckon. That's the next most sort of defining feature of this thing. So it has 2 rudders, which is very cool. So let's get a bit of an idea of where those are. They're actually sort of right on the edge. The aircraft. Ah, that's a good image. Are they at an angle? They're slightly angled down. They might just be vertical, actually. Now I'm looking at them. Right, let's... I think it's just one rudder piece. Yeah, it is just the one rudder piece. Okay. There's one sort of not moving bit at the bottom, so we are just going to take that and do something like this. I actually hate how limited the camera is in the SPH. It's really annoying. But yeah, so it's starting to look like the real deal. Wing-mounted N2. I'm a pass on that one, but a bit of fun, I suppose. But I'm gonna give that a hard pass. Right, so this is 2.7 meters. Obviously, having all the measurements before remind me to never do an aircraft building stream again without getting all the measurements beforehand, without making a little diagram like this of like roughly what the dimensions and angles are, because it massively speeds up the stream. I mean, I know I've had to do a fair few calculations today on like fine little elements, but just the broad strokes, being able to just quickly knock it together and know I'm doing something accurate, like, just great, really great. Yeah. Remind me to just make sure I do that every time in future. Right, and then we got the angle, we got the sweep angle at the front. It is, so it's 50.3, but actually it's going to be the inverse of that, so it's going to be 39.7. And then at the back, let's just put it at 90 first, and then I'll adjust it from there. Okay. So it's kind of like, I'm just sort of eyeballing this. Let's look at the front one, right? It's fine. Kind of like that. Yeah, that's about right. About 72 degrees. Cool. The width of this, the root. What is the width of the root? I don't actually know. We're gonna have to get the old ruler out again. It's 2.5. It's really hard to find dimensions drawings of these things. You just gotta kind of fudge it. Right, it's pretty much exactly 4 meters. So we'll just slap it at 4. Nice. And then the width of the... I mean, it kind of just goes down to nothing. So I can't really... One of these angles is not right. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's quite a big enough slope. I think it might be up at 50.3 rather than 50.3 from there. Definitely seems like it's at a steeper angle than this. So I think maybe that angle is wrong. I got it from a website rather than... Let's have a little look. Degrees... MiG 25 technical specs. Here we go. Technical data. Give me angles. No? Give me angles. What about... I found a website that gave me angles earlier. Blueprint with angles. Can anyone find out what the angle of this tailplane is? I'd rather not just eyeball it. I'm just going to do MiG-25 and then only get answers that contain degrees. Here we are. That's where I got the number from, I reckon. So the empennage stabilizes leading edge has a sweep angle of 50.3 degrees. Ah, but that's from the vertical, right? So that means, because if this is 90... If we reduce it... Yeah, no, I think we were right. I'm putting it at 39.7. Did it change or something? Oh, there we go. That looks better. I think it changed. Yeah, because it was higher, wasn't it? That's much closer to what it should be. Okay. So I think we were on the money. Perhaps. I'm not sure. Okay. Then the sweep angle at the back, we decided it was like 70. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so we really just need to change the width of the route and it will just start to look about right. Or not. Why won't it let us change the... Oh, is it the... Oh, it's the length. We haven't done the length yet, have we? We haven't done the height of it. Yeah, no, we did. It's 2.7 meters. Okay. Well, some of these angles are wrong then. Not sure really what's going on here. If we make that steeper angle, then it should be fine. So let's try like 80. It doesn't look steep enough. I reckon we're just going to bring that down to 29. Because that looks more like it should do. And that ends up being pretty much spot on. I'm going to double check the height of these. So I might be wrong. Something's wrong here. Okay, the height is 3.18, that's why. That'll be why. That's looking a bit better. Okay. Nice, there we go. That looks about right for the tail. Okay, then we want the first sort of control surface. Actually, we'll use this one because it's a non-moving one. This is just like a leading edge, really. Go that way around. I was going to say, why is that not quite the inverse of this one? Okay, there we go. Okay. So that's at 80. These are probably more like 85. Something like that. Yeah, basically the same taper that they already have. Except this is... How big is this? Pictures back up. More MIG photos. Yeah, the non-moving part of the... Actually, there's sort of two. There's one at the bottom and one at the top. Oh, it's interesting. So the shape of the tail's actually like a... There's like an angle here at the top. I really don't think I can be bothered to do that. That's actually quite a difficult sort of shape to recreate with these. Unless this was sort of vertical and then I had... Maybe it's doable. Let's have a look. It is doable, I reckon. Okay. Let's just sort of shrink the root of this slightly. I'm going to keep this angle at the 39.7 it already was. And this... something like 3.5, 3.75, and this 70 again. Maybe just flat out make it 90. That'll work. Really wish you could edit stuff without it changing other stuff. You get me? Do you have me got? It's imperative that you get me. Come fly with me references. Those are probably going over most of your heads. 87. Could be fiddling with these for ages. 85. That is close enough. Maybe 86 at a push. No, that changes the angle there. Okay, there we go. Oh, right. Let's do the rest of this now. So, we'll do the base of the wing first. Put this back on. Change the... I mean, the thickness of this needs to change quite a bit. I think that's the width. Let me get the photo back up. Did you get a haircut? I did get a haircut, yeah. Actually, no, I did a particularly dramatic hair flick and it just fell off. It was so sassy. My hair just fell off my head. Crazy, you know, it could happen to anyone. I did get a haircut. It was the longest it had ever been. See, it's a fair bit shorter now. Because I'm actually allergic to my own hair. So it's never really been a problem apart from when I'm having my hair cut, but it got so long, I'd wake up with it across my face and I was having like bumps and hives on my face. I was really like feeling hay fever, but allergies to my own hair in the morning. And yeah, so I had to just bite the bullet and go get it cut. So I got quite a bit cut off, but the thing is, it's still long. Like, it's still way longer than I ever used to have it. But I just cut so much off it because it was so ridiculously long that it looks like I've had a huge haircut, which I guess I have. But it's still long hair. Like, it's not short by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, that's about the right thickness of the base. Zoom out a bit. Maybe a bit more. For nice around 0.7. I mean, we could actually just measure this. I don't know exactly how much. Six. 5, 15, 6. It is not point. Oh wow, it's actually pretty chunky. 9.5. Okay, there we are. And then it needs to get a little bit thinner as it goes up. So the thing is, because of the way we're doing this, with this being almost vertical, we actually kind of want this to get thicker. Kind of like that. This isn't quite that long though. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. 9.5. So reduce the length to about. Yeah, it's not a huge amount actually. That's about right. Maybe a little shorter. It's about that. So there's 0.9, 0.7. This is slightly misaligned actually. Okay, we've got the beginning of the tail. We'll do the top of the tail. So these don't actually move. So we are just gonna make sure. Nope. That's all at 0. So that doesn't actually move at all. Then we're going to copy that to the top. Cool. And then I might actually turn the handles on for this and just sort of do this. So it goes like that. Shape right. So it goes out by quite a bit. Like so. And then we just stick the control surface in the middle of those. That looks pretty sick, doesn't it? Looking pretty damn cool. Let's make sure that these don't move. Yep, that's fine. It's inherited all of the stats from the other one. I think this is looking pretty damn great. It's going to look really cool when it's done. I don't know if it'll be finished today, honestly. I hope it will, but it's not looking that likely. It would be nice, but otherwise it's probably going to become a ridiculously long stream. Width at the... Ooh. Didn't mean to do that. Width of the tip was fine. What is the width of the root? There we are. And then the width of the root. And then the thickness of the root. Should be about 0.9, right? I think it's maybe not quite aligned properly, which we can fix by just taking it off, putting it back on again. If you try taking it off and on again, it doesn't want to quite line up properly, does it? Why that is? Just make sure it's rotated correctly. That looks like a vertical stabilizer to me, or a pair of them, in fact. How she look so far? I mean, I think you can see blue. Use your eye holes. She's certainly going. She's looking pretty great, honestly. Now, do these extend on top of the engines? It seems like they actually do. Now, what I might do is move these engines forward a bit. I don't think they need to be like that. Oh, that looks weird then at the end, doesn't it? That's really as far forward as we can move them. How far back onto the engines do these things go? Most of the way onto them, honestly. So it sort of end up like there. Which looks a little odd. Unless they're like there. Or we could bring them down a bit. That works actually. Because that's actually kind of what they do. So they go to like there, like that. Yeah, that works nice. And then we'll taper this boxy bit a little bit. Yet to figure out how I'm going to do that though. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. We need to tidy up this back bit a little bit, but that's good enough for now. Instructions unclear. Used ear holes. This is indeed the Foxbat. Yeah, it's the MiG-25, not the 29. But you're close. Right. Let's tidy some of this front bit up, make it a little bit more aerodynamic, and then we'll probably just like get the rest of the control surfaces on. And oh wow, that actually worked surprisingly well just out the gate, didn't it? Where's the length? Am I blind? At the top, we've got the bottom. Oh, the length. Here we go. That just kind of works. So slightly jank. We still need to sort of tidy up this top bit, but that works quite nicely to me. That might reduce the length a bit more. It's like 5 meters. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Because it does kind of sort of sag a bit more at the bottom. In fact, yeah, I think that does look better when it's at about 6. Because that's actually kind of how the nose looks. It goes sort of more dramatically at the top. Maybe we'll change the curve slightly at the top. Yeah, that actually looks better. That looks closer to the actual nose shape. Now we need to tidy up around the cockpit, sure, but I think we'll get some landing gear on this thing. We'll get the rear elevators on this, and then we'll probably take it for a test flight. And I think then that'll be a good place when this stream, because it's getting very late. I think we're going to finish this just by quickly slapping on some rear elevators, like real fast, just to quickly test this. And then we're gonna, yeah, because I didn't realize how late it was getting. So I'll make these accurate at a later date. I've been obsessing over engine intakes for a little bit too much time, so we're kind of out of time today. I started the stream quite late because well, I was doing all the initial measurements and everything to make sure I would have this accurate. So just quickly slap an elevator on, take it for a test flight, and then call it a night, I reckon. We can always finish this another time. The thing is, I usually start these builds on stream, and then I'll finish them off camera. You know, just go obsess over all the tiny details. You know, like the engine intakes, like I did today. Yeah, we'll need to sort that all out in a minute, but that's all fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Doobie-doobie-doo. Let's offset this back slightly. There we go. We got engines. Nice. Like, quickly put some landing gear on this thing. I think it has tricycle, doesn't it? It has 3 landing gear. 3 landing gear, yeah. So we'll use. Sorry, measuring stick. Away with you. Has single one at the front. Directly, yeah, pretty much there. Then it has some side ones. Go on around here. I don't know how boxy this thing is. It is really boxy, isn't it? I don't like that placement. Use these ones. Now you can tell it's Russian just by looking at it. There we go. Okay, let's put a little bit of fuel in here. Just put it in the middle of this one. There we go, fill it with that. Don't need that much utilization. Just have like a, yeah, 50%. That's good enough just in that top tank. Let's see where our center of mass is, center of lift. Ooh, okay. That center of... Actually, no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. I don't know why I panicked at that. No, that's kind of what you want to see for an interceptor. So we kind of want to move it back a little bit, but that's good enough, I reckon. It'll fly. Right, these standard control. These are just for roll, not for anything else. These are just flaps. These are for pitch. And these are just for yaw. Probably fly like cracks. I haven't had time to fine tweak those things. How high up is that? That's about the right place. Fix the cockpit and body merge. Yeah, we'll fix that later. I don't really have time. I really just want to give this a test flight before the end of the stream. So we're going to slap Andre. He's our test pilot for all these kind of things. In here, we're going to launch it from Setsk runway. That's where we do our military aircraft testing. We'll sort this out later. We just sort of need cone shape thing in there, and that'll work nicely. Right, let's give this a little test fly, shall we? See if the engines even turn on. Who's that Batman in orange? I think it might be Jeffrey Kerman. Not allowed to use him, of course, but I got him in my space program because he flew an Intercosmos mission. Because you really don't want to be splicing craft that have Kerbals on them when you don't have them in your own astronaut core. We found out the hard way when I did the Space Race series with Tape Gaming back in the day. We spliced one too many saves with Phantom Kerbals, and it just bricked the save file. We had to stop making the series because of it. But then we did Fall of Kerbal instead, so, you know, you win some, you lose some. Jeffrey! Jeffrey indeed. These are the load times we have to deal with, by the way. Just so you know, whenever you ever wonder where the episodes are at, maybe reconsider it. Oh god, this looks really weird. I haven't had time to properly detail it. I mean, yeah, it looks, you know, it's an approximation. It's getting there. I'm going to warp to the daytime though, so it doesn't look quite so jank. Batteries are almost empty. Oh, come on. Let me just... Yeah, there we go, sorted. I'm gonna put solar panels on my... Yeah, I don't care. What about your food? I just want the sun to come up. If I knew what the time was in game, I would have... No more water. Ah, it's fine. That's good enough to launch. Right, let's do this. Fly by wire. This brick. It's just a flying brick. Once we sanded some of the edges off, I'll use some tanks and stuff just around some of these edges here. Because this, you know, it needs to have this sort of really aggressive looking front of the intake, and then it doesn't sort of round the edges. Whoa, check out those afterburners. Whoa! Why on earth is it doing that? There I was thinking the center of lift being so far behind wouldn't be a... I would have thought it would be difficult to take off, not that it would do that. You made it super maneuverable. Yeah, I think it's... oh, this is New Plesetsk, by the way. Those of you who haven't seen it. There's a wind turbine and everything. It's cool, right? It's been a while on it. Because we don't have the KSC here anymore. We've got this super long runway. I reckon if I look at the stability derivatives, it's going to be grossly unstable. Turned into a VTOL. Well, that was Andre Kerman's brief little journey into the unknown. Let's have a little look at the stability derivatives and see just how ridiculously unstable this thing is. Okay, to be fair, it's just the pitch up angular acceleration, so it's not stable in the pitch, and that's why as soon as I pitched up it rapidly lost control. That's not something that's I'm incapable of fixing. Where's the center of... that'd be it. The center of thrust wasn't going through the center of mass. So that's what caused that. Right. Well, we're going to continue this probably in a week's time, I reckon. Yeah. We don't need this plane just yet. So we're going to continue building this in about a week's time. But look, we've got the broad strokes of it. We've got the silhouette correct. We've got the main wings and everything. And the intakes, all important intakes, which thankfully turns out these flags don't block the air flow into the engines. So next time we'll tidy up this little bit around the cockpit here. We'll tidy up this rear section of the aircraft and around the engines and all that. We'll slap some decals on it. We'll get it beautified. But it's getting pretty close. I mean, it's as I said, you know, we've got the silhouette correct. We've got the engines on it. I think it's going to be pretty great. Pretty excited. Twin RD301 fluorine engines will suffice. Yeah, maybe you're onto something there. Maybe. But regardless, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Stay safe, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I know it's been kind of a laid-back, chill one. I've just sort of been focusing on the plane, trying to get it to look right, looking at my calculations, sitting here with a scientific calculator. But that's the way the cookie crumbles when you're trying to make accurate replicas of real-life aircraft. But I'm glad I didn't try and build it out of fairings and stuff, because also this way we get a realistic representation of the actual weight of the aircraft, because it was made out of steel, predominantly. So using steel fuselage instead of fairings, we should get realistic performance from it. So that should be exciting. Look forward to seeing this actually in the next episode of For All Kerbalkind. It isn't going to be one of those instances where I design something and then you don't see it for like 5 years. So you should see it soon. We're going to be flying it a fair bit because we want to get all of this juicy crew science as previously established. That's where we're going to leave it today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. And look forward to Carnasa's next episode on Sunday. Keep an eye out for that. See you then. Thank you to everyone who donated. I Play Games, N9, Real Professional Twinker, Riley Church, Kivarix, Professional Twinker, Potato Patch Broadcasting, R7 Fact was Jank, and Slid. Thank you, everyone. See you next week.